welcome to the warm-up. It's fireworks night and I've got a couple of sparklers with me here today in Brentford women's gaffer Karleigh Osborne and a man who scored a fair few rockets in his time, the ambassador Marcus Gale, and this is what's coming up on today's show. My favourite is back. No, not Karleigh, we all know I prefer Marcus. We brought back the feature, my favourite, with Mathias Jensen.
Yeah, what I like, the breakfast I like it actually. I'm not really into the baked beans, but...
you don't like the beans? That training ground, you're just the one leaving.
Yeah, I'll let David have it.
The club are looking for their first ever esports player, so I thought I'd throw my hat into the ring and start my journey to being a pro player, going up against streamer Robbie Knox, who also happens to be a regular at Norwich. Here we go. What? Ah!
Oh, he's done him! He's done him! I thought you might be terrified by my advanced keeper, but...
When I've seen Tim Krul come out,
he went for it.
I was like, what is this?
He went for it.
I mean, I don't know what your backline was doing.
I've gone attacking again.
And we will, of course, have all the build-up to that massive game tomorrow here against the Canaries. Karleigh, welcome back, mate. Enjoy your weekend away?
Yeah, it was good, mate. Good fun. Nice little breakaway, yeah.
Nice. Obviously, you missed the results of the challenge. No surprise, though, probably to you, that you lost miserably, mate.
Obviously, it was just a bad time, really. But I thought my acting was good. I managed to take my heart rate up as well, yeah.
You definitely won the competition on who's got the whitest eyes out of all three of us.
No, I was scared, but I'm not afraid to say it.
No, exactly. It's good to admit. Look, before we start, I want to say a massive congratulations to Zanka and Nana on their new arrival this week. Now, as that's the nice stuff, we've got to talk about the not so nice stuff now. Marcus, you were up at Burnley on co-coms. First off, was it a case of us not very good or Burnley good?
I think it was definitely a bit of both. Burnley were good at what they do and we were pretty bad at what we normally do, so that's the result we got. You know, the first half was pretty poor from what I could see. Just looked a bit disjointed and a lack of communication that cost the goal, so that's where we were.
Karleigh, on the goal, Matt Loughton actually said after the game that they had said before as a group that they were looking to get that ball over the top and in behind our back three, because as he quoted, he said they are tall guys. But when you saw that first goal, was there maybe an element of surprise? Because you're going up against someone in Chris Wood who, I don't know if this is naivety for me, but I don't think he's renowned for playing in behind. So are people expecting to maybe see him in front of them all the time and not expect that he's going to try and roll them and get in behind?
Yeah, look, Chris, he's good at that part of the game, but he does do that bit in behind as well. I think we was very high for the first goal. You know, when you look at the final kind of details of it, positioning was a little bit off. And I think we played into Burnley's hands a little bit with that high line, because you know, Burnley are a team that want to run, they do want to get in behind you, they do want to cause those problems, and I feel we just played into that a little bit.
So how do you play against that? Is it, so you literally have to just drop a bit deeper, right?
Yeah, I think me and Marcus were speaking about it before the show, and we were going over things, and we were saying, you know, it would have been a good time for Brentford to kind of sit in and ask those questions of Burnley, because Burnley aren't a team that are going to pass you off the pitch and break you down in that way. So, you know, give them that challenge to try and break us down, because I don't think they would have been as successful.
Marcus, Thomas said we'll learn from it. He always says that, and we do always generally learn from our mistakes. As a fan, I was watching it, and I obviously identify a couple of mistakes on the goals, but that's just me as a fan, and they seem like very obvious things that I imagine the lads will have known they've done wrong. Or so when Thomas says, we'll learn from it, when they regroup, how does it work when you've been in these squads? Are you being reminded of the silly, simple mistakes that you've maybe made, or will they be looking at a broader, bigger picture and going, actually, we need to learn from this next time by doing this? Because you could say, I didn't close down the cross or got beaten in the air. Do you see a few things like that? So what is it they would have been looking at?
Again, you've got to do a bit of both. You've got to face reality, and then you've got to look at how you can do things better as well. So that would have, I'm sure that would have happened this week. And some of it ain't pleasant at times. Footballers don't want video nasties like in my day. We hated coming back on the coach and watching all the mistakes. It kind of reinforced how bad you were on the day. I'm sure today's coaches and stuff, we don't do that now. But again, you would have to highlight the little basic errors. We didn't really compete against a Burnley side that they're built to compete. They're built to unsettle you. They've got a route one style of play. They want to get that ball into the box. And on the day, we didn't, especially the first half, we just didn't deal with it.
So Karleigh, would you be then as a group going, say Marcus had made a mistake, he'd been reminded you didn't do this, and then would then it be kind of and next time we play against a team who do this, this is what we're going to make sure we're doing, or we can now hurt teams in this way. How does it work?
Yeah, it's exactly that really. You highlight the individual mistakes, and it's not to highlight people and what they've done badly. It's just to remind people and refresh people that in the moment this is what it needs to be. Because it's not a case of players don't know what it is, but sometimes when you're in a game you get caught in the middle of something. It could be ball watching, and you're talking about a split second. You know, that one time you switch off, especially in the Premier League now, you're punished straight away.
I was going to say, is that because people see some of the mistakes and they go, we weren't making those mistakes. We were like, what's going on? Is it because, as you guys have gone up levels, you've noticed that you make those mistakes because everything's more intense and everything's quicker, right?
Yeah, exactly that. Like the speed of thought is so much quicker. People recognise situations so much better. So that's the difference. But in terms of as a team, you know, I think it's one where they would have gone over it. They'll speak about the individual stuff, and then they'll bring it together collectively, and they'll recognise that when they play against a team like that next time, these are the changes that we need to make, and these are the things they need to make sure that they do.
So what will we have learnt, Marcus, do you think, in that game?
Look, Burnley's a tough place to go anyway.
Yeah.
Let alone when your keeper's making his debut.
Yeah.
You want to feel you're going to protect him as well. Could we have done that better? I think we could have done that. Just to, not in a way babysitting, but it's kind of looking after him in a professional manner. Give him the least amount of work to do and get him through that game, because it is a tough place. We know what Burnley's like, but we've got to bounce back.
Yeah.
For me, it's now tomorrow's match. How we're going to come out tomorrow. Got to lick our wounds and just get back onto it, and try and perform again.
It sounds like we've been quite negative here, but there are some positives, right? I mean, first of all, Karleigh, that Saman goal. How good was that finish?
Yeah.
How hard is that technique, right?
Well, I'd imagine it's extremely hard, because I can tell you now I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't get there. But no, it was a fantastic goal. We know he possesses that kind of quality when he's on the pitch and in those moments. So that was a massive positive and something to kind of half cheer on a day, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there is positives, of course there is.
Well, another one being return of Vita.
Yeah.
How big is that going to be?
That was huge, and you can see the dynamics he has and the combination he has with Christian. There was a move in the first half where we had the ball. No, second half, sorry. And I think Sergi had the throw in. He threw it into Vitali. He's dummied it and straight into Christian, who's played a 1-2. And both of them are marked. Now, we couldn't do that in the first half because we didn't have that sort of dynamics in there and the understanding. So that was a great plus point, having Vitali back in there. It just gave us that sort of solid base that we normally have in there. And it worked really well.
On a broader view then, Karleigh, when you're in the squad and you just see bodies coming back, does that lift everyone again? Because we have had a few outright recently, and then if they're just seeing like, oh brilliant, does that make a difference mentally to a squad?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. When you see players coming back and some of your key strong players coming back, it builds a nice little bit of confidence. And then it's about getting them back in and helping them, making sure they're ready. Because what you don't want is you don't want to put someone back in too early because you feel that's what you need, and it ends up going the other way where they're not quite ready and then they're not performing at the level you'd want them to, and then they lose confidence as well as the team loses confidence in that. So it's just about making sure we time it right. But it's great to have him back. I think also we now see how key he is, because obviously when he first come in, he was never expected to kind of be doing what he's doing and what he's done. Yeah. But he is so vital for the way that we play and obviously the way that the midfield work.
I think he was expected to do it, but maybe not as quick. Because he just came in and just went, right, this is my level and this is what I'm going to give the side. And he just kept that level so high.
Well, like we say, it was a return of Vita on Saturday, and it's a return of my favourite now, back for the first time this season with Mathias Jensen.
Probably it's a tough one, but probably the playoff final. Yeah. It's, all I've been doing here for 2 years summed up in one moment was just amazing. And as I told you guys after the game, I just started crying straight away when he blew the whistle, which just showed how much it meant to me. I was a bit surprised I did, actually, but it was lovely. What
were the celebrations like that night? Because I know a lot of the staff around here had a very heavy night. I guess it was the same for you.
Actually, not that bad from my side. We went here to the stadium with all the team and staff and friends and family and so on. But then because I was going straight with to the Euros, and probably for at least a month or so, I wanted to spend like those few hours I had the day after with my family. So So yeah, I was here until, I don't know, 1 o'clock or so in the night, but then I went back home.
You had a pretty busy week then, and I guess you didn't get that chance to celebrate. When did you get your chance to sit down and go, wow, what a day that was at Wembley?
I don't really feel like I've had it yet.
Oh, really?
No, I mean, it was just, yeah, I felt it for a couple of hours, but then straight away focused on the Euros, and then Euros was also a crazy roller coaster of emotions and everything. So probably in the summer when we have first real holidays in a long time, then I'll have the time to sit back and think about it. I would say Christian, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's such an important part of our team, and we came here at the same time, and I knew him from before as well, so he's such an important player for the team, and I think he gets all the praise he deserves from the fans as well.
Is he someone, when you go away on international duty, that you two are quite close away
yeah,
at Denmark?
Of course. I mean, we are almost together all the time, so even on internationals as well. So yeah, it's good fun though to have him by my side. I had a few. I mean, actually there was many, but Cristiano, Ronaldinho, Iniesta, Zidane. There was a lot. When I was really young, it was more like Ronaldinho and Cristiano. Yeah. But when I grew old and I started knowing which position I was playing, then I started to look more at the midfielders like Iniesta and Zidane.
I did read online that you were a fan of Man United growing up, and you watched Cristiano Ronaldo and you loved watching him. What is it you love about Cristiano Ronaldo, like from when you were growing up compared to now? At
that time, I was a winger as well, so that's probably why I really liked him. And I tried to do the bits he was doing in the games as well, even though it was on a totally different level.
Well, you did it against Leicester the other day, that nutmeg on Tielemans.
That's right. But then, I think it was just, he was amazing from the first game he played for Man United. Such a different player.
And he's still got it now, isn't he? He's still one of the best in the world, if
it's
not
a bit
the best.
different from then until now, but I mean, he's still got so much quality. I would say the Euros. I mean, I haven't been on international level that much yet. I've been there for a year now. But yeah, just the whole Euros in total was a crazy experience.
That must have been amazing to be a part of that, and a bit like for us with England, it was like everyone felt togetherness, but I think it must have been similar for Denmark, because to reach the semi-finals is unreal achievement.
Yeah, and I think it was even, I don't know how you felt. Of course you felt togetherness, but I think we felt it even more, especially with the situation with Christian Eriksen, and then suddenly we had to, a few days after, straight into the next game, and that just created a crazy togetherness, not even only with the team, but also with the whole country of Denmark, I think.
And it was just like every game you were playing, it was entertaining football and goals being scored, and gave England a scare in the semis, and you know, Kasper's unlucky not to keep Kane's penalty out, but what was it like in that semi-final? That must have been pretty noisy at Wembley.
It was. Unfortunately, I didn't play that long, but at the time I was on the pitch, it was tough. We were running a lot without the ball. I didn't feel like they were creating a lot of big chances, even though we felt like we were running a lot. But yeah, then suddenly they had a cheap penalty and it was over. My debut, I would say, it's always nice, Villa away, even though we were short. But other than that, I think it's hard. But when you score late minute winner against West Ham.
That was great, and obviously from your free kick, Pontus is unlucky still not to score a goal, and it's broken to Wissa, and that feeling when that goes in the away end, it was nuts. I imagine for you guys on the pitch, it would have been an unreal experience.
Yeah, it was massive, and then straight away when when they started the kick-off, he blew the final whistle, so it was great fun and probably my favorite game so far. I think Wembley or I don't know what you call it, but Atletico Madrid Stadium, so it's also quite nice.
What is it you love about Wembley? Is it just the moments you've had there?
Both have had good and bad moments there. I think I won twice and lost twice, but it's a stadium you've always heard about, watching football, and be able to play in there. And then last time in the semis with I know there was only 60,000-70,000, but it felt like full stadium. So it was a crazy experience. It's probably just to see my family and relax, chill out, see some friends. It's not that much I'm in Denmark, because when I do it's often with the national team and we don't really have any days off. So, and after Euros this summer we only had 1 or 2 weeks, and it feels so short when you feel like you have to see everyone.
And that's been tough with COVID, I guess, as well.
Yeah, exactly. In short amount of time, so it's tough and a bit stressful sometimes. But
do you miss the food?
Yeah, I do. It's I don't know. I think you always love the food where you grew up, and yeah, I think Denmark are doing very well, so I miss it. That's a tough one. I don't really know if I have any specific. Normally, I always go for Italian ones and so on. Okay. So yeah, but I like the breakfast. I like it actually. I'm not really into the baked beans, but
you don't like the beans? That training ground, you're just the one leaving.
Yeah, I'll let David have it.
Do you like to cook anything?
Yeah, sometimes I'm a bit lazy actually, because then I'm too lazy to do grocery and then cook for 2 hours and then I eat everything in 10 minutes. Then I had to do all the dishwashing as well. So fortunately I have a girlfriend who's very well cooking.
So you just normally leave it to her and you just...
Yeah, mostly I'll help out sometimes.
What does she cook that's good?
It's her. I mean, I think she's very good at doing different kind of stuff. There's not like any specific thing she's good at, so it's nice. On a day off, I like to go for breakfast or brunch with my family, and then
without the beans.
Yeah, without the beans, and then yeah, just back home and chill while the little one is having her nap, and then probably go for a short walk later.
And how is it? Because it must be sleepless nights having a little baby running around.
It hasn't been too bad actually,
no?
To be honest. I think my missus is doing a great job. So yeah, I think it could have been worse.
Love that, Lukey. Super. Well, lads, I think there's something really interesting in there, what kind of Mathias said. He's not had a chance to celebrate promotion yet. Let's get it right. He went straight to the Euros. Did a lot of travelling with Denmark, obviously, in the Euros because they progressed really, really far. He then gets injured against England. So he was behind when it came to pre-season. Karleigh, I know we've been about it. I'm going to you on this one because I imagine you've had it where you've come back injured maybe before.
Yeah.
How hard is that though when you come back from pre-season and you see the rest of the group getting a head start and you're playing catch-up straight away?
Yeah, it's really horrible to be fair, because you for pre-season you want to kind of, as much as you hate it, and I hated pre-season, I can promise you that, you always want to hit the ground running. You know how vital it is for how well your season may go. And when you're playing catch-up constantly, it's hard work, and especially if the team then starts doing well, then you end up feeling like you're getting further and further away and everyone's pushing on. So I can imagine that would have been tough for him.
Yeah. Look, technically, I absolutely love Jensen. I think his passing in particular, I just love the pass against Swansea, you know, where he just puts it through to Ollie. I feel like he's probably our best passer since Romain, really. Sometimes those players, though, can polarise opinion amongst supporters. Is that sometimes because maybe people think they're not doing the other side enough?
It's just a perception, you know, they've got so much in their locker that not many can produce. So when they don't do the other side, which is, you know, the dogged side of it, throwing themselves into tackle, that's not in their makeup to do that. Yeah. You've got other people that are designed to do that, and a bit more as well. But when you've got players like Jensen and Sawyer's here, you've got to appreciate what they do give you on the pitch. Yes, he can always work harder off the ball. That's what talented players always have to do. They've got to try and show they are working hard, and they do. Jensen, he does that. He does work hard off the ball, but it's not natural for him to go flying into a tackle like Vitali or Christian. Yeah, because that's not in his makeup.
Well, is it also kind of there's this like perception of those kind of players that you straight away have a preconceived idea that they don't do that stuff, when actually maybe if you look, they might do that stuff. Like Romain had it as well, and actually sometimes he would put his foot in, but it maybe you wouldn't notice that so much because it just becomes that image. The other thing I would say is it a strange one because is it a bit harsh because industrious players don't get stick for not being able to create like they create? Do you see what I mean, Karleigh?
Yeah, 100%. And I think also the reason why it's harsh as well, because they do they do that work, they do the hard work off the ball. But sometimes those players are usually quite clever in how they then manoeuvre the ball or win the ball back. So what they'll do is, rather than just going into a massive 50-50 and taking the lot, they'll work their body to keep the ball and then set off another attack. Whereas another player will just, end the 50-50 and it goes out or however it ends up. So I think also it's kind of the level of thinking that people don't always recognise, because they're very clever in how they keep the ball or how they win the ball back.
Yeah.
But then again, you've had great players like Xavi and those sort of players. They were never tacklers, but what they was doing were they was probably the first point of the press and trying to win that ball back. They may put the opponent off and someone else slides in and wins the tackle. So again, it's just appreciation of the style of player they are and what do they contribute. I'm sure if we look on Matty's stats, he's probably one that steals the ball quite a lot just by being busy around the opponent and forcing them into a mistake.
You can't win the league with a team of David Batty's, can you? A bit of a niche, example. But do you know what I mean? You need different types of player, right? You can't just have a team of one style, right?
No.
He also loves a nutmeg, by the way, which I absolutely love. Lads, you two got to represent Brentford. I somehow never did. I slipped through the net. But my chance has come, by the way, and so has you lot at home. Get on this.
Oli Lito has to score, and he cannot! Manchester City, Premier League champions. Wonderful finish from Mane. It's so silky. Unbelievable scenes. Maybe a chance to strike. Rashford. Oh, it's beautiful.
That's right, you could be part of history and become the club's first ever esports FIFA player and taking part in the E-Premier League. More information is down below on how you can enter and hopefully make it through the qualifying rounds before the club pick their player. Lads, I decided that I want a bit of this, basically. I don't understand how hard it can be to be a pro on FIFA, right? So I'm starting my own journey, starting with me going up against Robbie Knox, who plays FIFA on Twitch, and he also happens to be a Norwich season ticket holder, so it seemed apt that we go for Brentford versus Norwich. Robbie, first of all, thanks so much for joining me, and we've got a lot of mutual friends, so I'm surprised we've never met before, mate.
Yeah, I'm excited and happy, even though I can't actually physically touch you, I can hear you, and that's good enough for me right now.
Well, look, basically, this week it was announced that Brentford are looking for their first EPL player, and I thought, well, I'm never going to play for Brentford on the pitch, so I'm going to throw my hat into the ring, and I fancy my chances to become our first ever EPL player, but I'm not particularly good at FIFA, so I want to know how far off it I am and what my chances are. So thanks for joining me, because I thought it'd be great to play with someone like yourself, who is a professional esports player, of course. And
I think that's overselling it slightly. Bear in mind, I've just been playing on my Twitch stream. I've been playing a Norwich City career mode, and we got relegated to the Championship. Signed Lionel Messi somehow, and are about 8th in the league despite having Messi. So I think you might have oversold my skills.
I imagine you're going to be better than me, and also it makes more sense. Like you say, you are doing your career mode with Norwich, and I know you're a big Liverpool fan, but you are a season ticket holder at Norwich as well, right?
I go to individual games. My kids basically got into football during the Euros at the summer. My two boys, a 7-year-old and 4-year-old. So I thought, well, I might as well take them to Norwich.
There you go. Well, I think maybe if you're cool with it, let's do Brentford versus Norwich then. And then
Perfect.
We can have a little chat about Brentford Norwich. And I'm imagining I will probably lose this. But, right, I think I know what I'm doing. So, obviously, you said you're also a massive Liverpool fan. Did you watch the game against us?
No, I didn't. I was doing something and I can't remember what I was doing and I couldn't watch it. So, no, I've seen the bits, but I've seen the goals and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good match.
It was, I reckon, probably one of the best Brentford games I've ever been to.
I like Brentford. Everyone likes Brentford, don't they?
I think so. I'd like to think so. Until a few clubs have decided they don't like us now, having played us, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, but it'll be interesting on on Saturday. I think it's a big game for both teams, really, isn't it?
Oh, well, look at this.
Oh, Ivan.
You've been lying about this lack of
No,
experience.
I haven't played for a while. I bought it in lockdown.
Here we go. On post.
Oh no!
Oof! Oh, it's gone over the top.
Come on, Mathias. Oh, just kind of. Oh, that's composure there from Christian. I'm worried now that you're just going to turn it on here. Oh no!
Oh, that's rank, isn't it? That is so Norwich.
Go on! Go on!
Oh, he's put it wide. He's put it wide. Right, bring it on, Pookie. Boot through it, Cruel. Nice.
Aww. Well, I'm actually pretty happy with that. There's some arrows popping up on my screen. This is the problem I've got. In that first game, I was trying to get out wide, and now you've just got a man there every time.
Good.
God, I
he
yes!
scored!
Here we go. That's what Ivan does. Give him a sniff. He'll put it away. I'm really sorry if I'm over celebrating. I don't know how to stop. How did you get into all the Twitch stuff?
Just started doing it during lockdown because didn't really have any work. Oh, rare! Oh my god!
Here we go. Here we go.
Ah! Oh, he's done him! He's done him! I thought you might be terrified by my advance and keeper, but
when I've seen Tim Crawl come out,
he went for it.
I was like, what is this?
He went for it.
I mean, I don't know what your backline was doing.
I've gone attacking again.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that's lovely.
I mean, that's
just
really
beautiful,
good goal, isn't it?
That's my celebration on
You've
FIFA.
just turned it on
That's the
there.
only one I've got. That lie on the floor. There's less talking now, isn't there? As the game goes. Oh, what a ball!
I know. We've got.
Defender!
Go on.
Oh.
No! How has that not gone in?
Is that onside? Done there.
Bad etiquette, probably that.
I'd like to get VAR onto that.
Guilty about that. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, you eventually celebrate. Oh no. Oh, punters.
Oh!
What's a goal?
Come on, get the ball, mate! Quick! Lie down!
You love that celebration.
I do. It's my reason for being.
I mean, I have actually
Take a deflection or something. How did that go in? What happened here?
Well, I slide tackled.
No, it's just a wonderful goal.
I'm making some straight. No!
George. Oh,
yes.
Ref, come on.
Oh, Robbie. Well, you gave me
There's a goal. Well, you're not getting 38 seconds added on for that goal. Come on. Sickening.
Mate, thank you so much. I tell you what, if the game is exciting as the second one, hopefully,
yeah,
and it goes that way, I'll be over the moon. Hopefully it doesn't go the way of that first one.
Yeah.
But thanks for helping on the start of my journey to see if I can be Brentford's EPL player.
I think you got the potential.
Yeah?
Well, you beat me, and I'm a FIFA influencer. In the loosest possible sense of the word.
I'm on my way. Well, look, thanks again, mate. I really appreciate it.
Cheers. Good luck at the weekend, and I hope you lose, but not that much. To be honest, I'm not that bothered. So, see what happens.
Cheers. Turns out I'm winning the Premier League for Brentford. Don't worry about everyone. Right, that second game was 3-2, and we want your score predictions for tomorrow's match for a chance to win this rule breaker Frank Onyeka card. Put your score predictions down below. Correct scores will be put into a hat next week, and we'll pick a lucky winner. Thanks for modelling that for us, Karleigh. As I said, 3-2 in that second game.
How did you beat him?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's pro. I think.
Oh, wow.
And I think I had the footballing brain. No, I'm not going to mug him off because I really like him and he's a lovely man and I am actually really good at FIFA. People underestimate me. Anyway, tomorrow's game, Karleigh, where does this game rank in level of importance now after these recent results for both sides?
It's massively important. Massively important for Brentford because, again, we need to get on a winning run. Obviously, we want to keep Norwich down there. So I think it's massively important for those reasons, build that confidence back up. Obviously, Norwich are chasing. They need to somehow find a little bit of light. And they'll be looking at Brentford and thinking, this is a chance for us to maybe kind of drag them into something and also get ourselves off on the move.
Marcus, last year they caused us problems, especially in that second game at their place. You kind of really saw why they were going to be champions that season. Why then this year have they struggled the most out of the 3 promoted sides?
I'm not too sure why. Their style of football suits the Premier League. Our style of football definitely suits the Premier League. We've shown that consistently. I'm not sure why we can pinpoint why Norwich are so poor this year. But tomorrow's game is going to be huge. An open game yet again at the Lionel Road Stadium. It's a game that has pressure for both sides.
Yeah.
They're going to feel that they're going to come here and try and get something. We're on a bad run, but the pressure for us is now, can we stop that bad run and get back on the wagon with it?
Karleigh, that game, Buendia aside, we spoke the next day about kind of that four in the middle that built the solid foundation for kind of everything they did. They had Hanley and Gibson and then McLean and Skip. This year, obviously, they've lost Buendia, but they've also lost Skip. And the obvious thing would be to look at it and go, well, without Buendia, you know, they're always going to find it tough. How big a loss is Skip then?
I think Skip's a massive loss for them, because I think the player that Skip is, and obviously we've seen it for Spurs and things like that, it allows people like Buendia to go and play with that ultra freedom and create and roam the pitch when they need to. So I think that's where, you know, that's been a big loss for them, and probably bigger than they expected. And they haven't quite replaced him. They brought Billy Gilmore in, but he's not really playing. Who is another fantastic player, but again, I think he's a little bit different to Skip. Skip's probably more industrious, as well as having the quality to find passes and break lines. So I think that has been a loss for them. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of attitude and performance they put in against us, because I think they'll come in with some belief.
Do you think it'll be more open as a game then?
I think it has the potential to be. Yeah. Which I think probably plays into their hands more than it does to ours. Right. In all honesty, because I think at the moment they're in a place where they've got nothing to lose, even now. Mm-hmm. You know, they're struggling to get going. The manager's close to potentially, you know, being relieved. Well,
they're talking about him in regards to saying, is he the right man to get us back up? I saw a couple of people saying it's like the season's 10 games old. Yeah. Like, it's a long way to go. It is crazy. Marcus, they've played about 4 systems already this year. They went with 4-4-2 last year. Surely that doesn't help.
Of course it won't.
10 games in.
It won't help at all, but that's their problem. Hopefully they'll change it again tomorrow and still be on that losing streak. They're going to feel hard done by from last week's result. I know they played all right, scored some goals, but didn't get what they wanted really. So tomorrow is going to be an open game. It will suit us, but we've got to, be prepared to play under pressure. We're playing a team that's not had one win all season. That's a lot of pressure to go against.
It's the same as Burnley last year. We need to remember that last week. We need to remember that they're going to be right up this. We can't underestimate them. And that we know they're a good football side, right, Karleigh, as well?
Yeah, they are. They're a very good footballing side. You can't deny that. I think Norwich's biggest problem is I think they just don't have that kind of cutting edge when they need it. They play some lovely football, got some fantastic players, but it just, sometimes for me it just feels it's all too nice, and sometimes it's just acceptable to kind of be up and down and things like that, and I think that's what lets them down.
Definitely, it will be a tough game here tomorrow, and tomorrow's match is our remembrance fixture where, like at Burnley, the players will be wearing shirts with a poppy on, and all of those will be auctioned off afterwards, the details of which you can see on the screen now. If you go to the Match Worn Shirts website, you can bid on your favourites while supporting the British Legion. Right, before we go, let's have a look at Fantasy Premier League. I'm taking the easy way out this week, and I've just gone for the FPL Game Week 11 Kings to Watch pick of Ethan Pinnock, only costing 4.7 million, lads. He's been worth 8.9 points per million, which is only bettered by 4 other players in the league. He's had 3 shots on target already, and of course, we know that we're deadly from a set piece. Plus, he's already got himself on the score sheet this season. So sign him up. What are you making of my selection, Karleigh?
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
Yeah, who would you go for, boys?
Oh, who would I go for this week?
It's a great shout for you, by the way.
Thanks.
He's been highly valued on that, so you picked well.
Thanks. Agree?
I do agree, actually.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Surprising, because I don't like agreeing with you anyway. So I'll agree with you on this one.
Thanks, guys. Look, before we go, you may have seen on social media that tomorrow in the 17th minute, Bees fans will be joining in a minute's applause for Brentford fan Colin Ryan. That's it for this week, guys. Karleigh, Really good to have you back, mate. I know it might not seem like it sometimes when I banter you, but I did miss you last week.
Well, I'm glad I'm back because you ain't be able to hammer me now.
You didn't miss him last week.
I was going to say that he
He
didn't.
was quite happy that he weren't in, especially that he lost.
Mate, don't throw me under the bus like that, all right?
But I already know.
It's only November, let's not fall out, all right? It is only November, and a massive game, though, tomorrow. You bring it every week, but we've got to be loud tomorrow and get behind the lads. Come on, you Reds. You Reds!